welcome to another teacher talk session tonight. And tonight we are having another education as usual, you know that from different part of the world. And tonight we are going to have our 191st session with a methodologist and a teacher of English, Amr Khamis. When he comes, we are going to start our live session. I think he's here, and yeah, he sent me a request to join. Right, so let me accept his request. Yes, we are waiting for him to join. Let me look at here again. Yes, I accepted his invitation. Hello. Takes time, a little bit, for Instagram. Okay, just a moment. I'll invite you, Amir. Yeah, I have sent you a request to join. Okay, here we go. Hello?
Hello.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, clear. Can you hear
Of
me?
course. Yeah, I can. It's clear. Wonderful, Amir. It's wonderful to hear. All right. So it's great to see you. And I would like to say thank you very much, Amir, for accepting my invitation for Teacher Talks and being our guest for the 191st session.
Thank you so much for the invitation, indeed.
Well, okay. So I don't want to take your time because I know that you are very busy. So if you're ready, can we start?
Sure, let's get started.
Okay. All right. And so I know about you, but maybe our audiences would like to know about you. Amir, so can you please tell about yourself, please, and a bit about your experiences too?
So, uh, me myself, I have graduated from law school, but I went to Eskişehir in Turkey with Isaac
Ah,
uh, as an English teacher for 2 months. And that's where I found that I really love English so much, and I would like to have a career shift in English. After that,
uh-huh.
I worked a little bit in Romania, China, Egypt, and now I'm working in Russia as an English and as a methodologist in a language center. Like a brief.
Okay, it's wonderful. And you've been different countries.
Yeah.
Uh, all right, thank you. And next question is, Amir, what was over your turning point or points in your own education?
So I have finished, as I mentioned, law school.
Yeah.
I worked a little bit as a lawyer, but then I discovered that it's not my cup of tea. I would like to deal with kids, so I mainly like working with kids. I work with everyone, but mainly kids, due to the good emotions you have from kids. So that was
Mm-hmm.
the turning point in my career. So I
I see.
discovered that teaching give you emotions which no other
Mm-hmm. I
career can
see.
give it to you.
Oh, okay. You're right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Amir.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
and you've been teaching for a long time. How long have you been teaching?
So officially, I started my career in 2015. Uh,
Ah, mm-hmm.
so I don't know how many years is that. But as I said, my turning point, like in my career, was in Turkey. So that's why I love this country so much. Awesome, like I love
You're
Turkey
always
so
welcome.
much. Yeah, I love Turkey so much, like really. So yeah, I've been working for quite some years now. In
Okay.
Russia now, I've been for 6 years living there.
I got it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, okay. So when you think about all those years, all right, and probably you have tried different strategies, different techniques and methodologies in your teaching, and probably you have a philosophy of teaching. So what is it? What is your philosophy of teaching?
So my philosophy, my number one philosophy, if we're talking about kids, it's that English is a language, not a subject. Because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of kids, a lot of parents deal with English as a subject in school that you need to pass. But actually,
You're
English
right.
is a language that you need to speak. So if you have good marks in school, but you cannot speak, so you don't know English. And my favorite approach, number one approach I use always is the communicative approach.
Mm-hmm.
That's I use a lot in my teaching because I believe that English is based on communication. Without communication, it won't happen. Like I see a lot of teachers falling in this mistake that teaching a lot of grammar, teaching a lot of reading, and they miss the speaking part. So
I see. That's
that's
the philosophy
yeah,
you have it here. Okay,
yeah.
thank you very much. And
You're welcome.
as a teacher, as an English teacher, actually most of the teachers they have some, you know, a lot of stories in their career. You know, sometimes we have bad stories, sometimes we have good stories, some failed ones, and some success stories we have. So can you tell us one or maybe two success stories of yours? Probably you have, if you're
Yeah,
smiling, and
sure.
something inspirational. But if you want to talk about your failed ones, we can also listen them. It's your
We
choice.
we we learn from our
Mistakes, you mean?
mistakes. Yeah, we learn from our mistakes. So as I said, my biggest failure was that uh, when I started my career, I was so concentrated on making my lesson perfect. Like the lesson plan must be perfect to the point that I have uh, forgotten to actually communicate with the students. So
Uh-huh.
I concentrated a lot on lesson planning without giving time actually for students in class. And success for me, my success is when a student just texts me and tell me, "Thank you, I can speak English." That's it. So
That's nice.
of course, there are a lot of stories like this, but for me, that's success.
That's
That's actually success for any teacher. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Thank you very much,
You're
Amir.
welcome.
So, you know, as I also teachers, we are trying a lot of activities in our classrooms, all right? And of course, a lot, all the teachers they have, you know, have some, you know, the special activities that they always use in their classrooms. When you think about your classrooms, can you tell us one or maybe two activities that you like to use for your classes? Your secrets ones, if you have it, to share with us.
Yeah, of course. Now, actually, it's no secret that AI became so famous. Became sorry, not famous. Teachers use it a lot, so I use a lot of
Uh-huh.
AI in my classroom. I use a website called um, Leonardo AI. I can
Uh-huh.
text it for people, so then teachers who are watching can use it. It's just simply text to image, but I use it for reading, for writing, for speaking, for everything. So
Uh-huh.
this is an activity. Just like I ask students to write, I give them three words, for example, beautiful. So if I say beautiful man, woman, please make a sentence out of it. So when you type with adjectives, teachers, sorry, students get an image in front of them. So this actually is an amazing website, which I use a lot now
Leonardo
in my classroom.
AI.
Yeah,
That's is it I think easy to use it.
it's
Is
so
it
easy and it's free.
Oh, it's free. It's not like a
Yeah,
ChatGPT.
no,
Okay.
no, no, no.
All right, I got it. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing it with us, Amir.
You're welcome.
Okay, so you know, we have a lot of, you know, the teachers all around the world, the new beginners, okay? So
Mhm.
maybe as an experienced one, you can give some suggestions for the new teachers for their career. What would you like to say to them?
Yeah, that's. I actually I work. I give speeches and conferences around Russian. I hold workshops. My number one advice for every teacher is that you are enough. Unfortunately, now
Mm-hmm.
there's social media around us everywhere, and there's a lot of accounts of people who like share English or teach English, but you look at them and you say, oh, he has a lot of followers. I don't have enough followers. I'm a bad teacher. But actually, it's no. You are enough for your students. Teaching is a journey that must have mistakes and must have a lot of practice. If you don't have mistakes, you will not learn.
Mm-hmm. I
So
see.
you are
That's
enough.
that's
Like
that's the,
every
that's the
teacher,
suggestions, advice you give to the new beginners. You're right.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
thank you. I see. Thank you
yeah.
very much, Amir. You've been different countries as an English teacher, and you try to teach them that language. So when you think about, especially in Russia, let's talk about Russia because you're in Russia, and you have a lot of experiences with the students over there. So can you tell us the challenges of students about learning a new language, especially English?
In Russia,
Yeah,
in Russia,
in
yeah.
Russia, we can
So,
say. Or if
yeah,
you want to talk
in
talk
Russia,
about the other countries, you want to combine them, you can also talk about it.
I I think in Turkey and in Russia it was almost the same. That students, if we're talking about young learners, deal with English as a language. Sorry, as a
Uh-huh.
subject,
Mm-hmm.
language. So I have it at school. I need to pass it, and I don't care if I don't speak English. So
Mm-hmm.
that's I faced a lot with students and their parents. So I usually tell the parents who are asking for individual classes or anything, uh, I don't care about the results of school. I care about
Mm-hmm.
that your kid can speak first properly, and then we can look at the results at school. So, and of course, that like in Turkey also, English is not used in everyday life. Like it's same in Russia. Like
Uh-huh.
When I was in Turkey, people in the street actually didn't know English that much, same as in Russia. So that's like,
I see.
oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you very much for your ideas, Amir. Okay, so when we think about the school life and the teachers and the students, or we really sometimes face a lot of the challenges and difficult times, and especially these times or challenges affect our mental health, at schools.
Sure,
When you
sure.
think about this, how important is the students and the teachers' mental health for their school life?
That's an excellent question, and usually I tell all teachers that if you are facing problems with classroom management, you have to deal with this the first thing in your life. You need to find a way to control your class. Because if your class is not organized, there are people who are disturbing you, you will burn out as a teacher and you'll say, bloody hell, I don't want to work as a teacher anymore. I just want to leave. So that's number one. Actually, what teacher needs to concentrate on is to develop a proper classroom management. Because if you don't
Mm-hmm.
have this, you will suffer a lot as a teacher.
Oh, I see. The classroom management, you mean that's important for your mental health, for both students and
Yeah,
the teachers, you
of
mean?
course,
I see.
of course.
Okay. All right. So I just ask you about the student's problem about learning a language. Now I want to ask you about the teacher side. Like when you think about it, what are difficulties that you face about teaching a new language for students? When you think about all the other countries, can you give us some one or two examples about it that they have a problem? The
So
problem that you face
yeah,
while teaching.
yeah. So now, me or teachers?
Both we can talk about your
So
as an according to your experience, we can talk about.
yeah, talking about teachers first, okay? Uh, what I notice now, a lot of teachers want their class to be only about games, like gamification of the language.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them use like boards, interactive boards, and I don't know why some teachers stop just simply using a student's book in a fun way. So that's something very important. And for me, what I face now as uh, being a teacher, especially with teens, is that I have to be always updated to the trends. So
Mm-hmm.
what games they play, what music they listen to, what movies they watch, what language they speak. So I understand actually what they're having in their class. So when I give them homework, I don't give them homework, for example, write a story about Shakespeare, if we're talking about writing. No, write a story about something that is surrounding it. So that's the most challenging part, that now life is so fast and I need to adapt to it as a teacher.
I see. I will say, okay, okay. Thank you very much about it. You know what? You know, when we teach in the classroom, sometimes, our students, they face difficulties to understand, especially the grammar structure. They face a lot of difficulties. And sometimes we cannot explain everything in the classroom. And after the classroom, our students come to us and ask for help about it. So when you face this problem, how actually it's not a problem when you this request from the students. How do you help your students when they need extra help about topics that they don't understand? What do you do, and what can you suggest for the teachers to do?
Okay, so if we're talking about grammar,
No,
actually, when
okay. Hmm.
like if the question was about grammar, and I'll tell the rest. If it's about grammar, I actually use a very popular method. I learned it from my TESOL course in Arizona. Uh, Metaphorization of grammar. So when you're teaching grammar, put a
Hmm.
metaphor for it. So
Oh.
for example, I'll give you a quick example, like future simple, yeah. I explain to the students, I tell them after he, she, it, they, we, I put the picture of Will Smith. All of people know it. So
Yeah.
that's why will and then the verb, for example. And I don't,
Ah, I see.
yeah, that's metaphorization. I don't give grammar a very big like importance, like now we're going to have grammar. No, it's just okay. We need grammar. Why we need grammar? Actually, students don't understand why they need grammar, because grammar helps you to speak. And I don't stress on teaching grammar. Like, okay, let's teach it quickly, and then what I understood, it's not important if they understand the rule itself, but when they practice and make mistakes, it's better for them.
I see. That's really interestingly, the idea to use it, using metaphors for to
Yeah,
teach them the grammar.
I always
And
use
probably
metaphors in grammar.
it sounds fun, by the way.
Yeah, it is fun. It is fun. It
I'm
is
sure they will
it's
like it, and they put
it,
there in my mind, in their mind actually, usually the subject and the Will Smith photo and the verb, blah blah.
exactly
That's really nice, the combining them
like,
together.
for example, I'll show you how do on the camera how do I introduce the vowels to the students. So that's the vowel, okay, uh, but it has different names. So when I was in Turkey, this one was named Mr. Doner, so they remember it. In Russia, it's called something else, so it's also related to the culture of the students.
Ah, that's really nice. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Nice idea to use it. Thank you. Thank you very much, Amir. You know, what I want to say that again, I actually asked to you, you've been in Russia for I think 3 years or more than maybe 3 years. I
Five.
can't remember now. You mentioned 5 years. And when you think about, and you have a lot of experience about the education system over there. If you have a chance to change the one thing about the language education or general education in Russia, what would you change?
Students' books in school, if we're talking about
Really?
school system, yes. Yeah. Uh,
Why?
because students' books are like old, not old, but like the way it's written, it's really so
Ah,
complicated for students. And even when I was in Turkey, also the students' book were not difficult, but they were like so difficult. No, it was difficult for students, and
I
it was not
see.
interesting.
Now that they are
But I
better
don't
now.
know. They're better now. Yeah? I don't
Yeah.
know. I haven't been in Turkey for a long time.
I see. That's a good point about the books. Yeah, you're right. I
Yeah,
agree
students'
with you about the
books.
books. They need to be, they need to be chosen very carefully for the students
Yes.
and designed
Yeah.
very carefully.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. And by the way, you have a project, if I'm not wrong, you have a project for the Russian
Mm-hmm.
teachers. And so, actually, I don't know a lot of details about it. You just mentioned it. So, can you tell us about this project about the Russian teachers? What do you aim to achieve with it, or how can our teachers join it, or how did you start it?
I started with one of my colleagues who I met in one of the conferences in a
Uh-huh.
city here in Russia. So the aim is just simple. It's like every week we have one webinar where we invite a teacher, a psychologist, marketer, PR, anything related to teaching that can help you.
Uh-huh.
So for everyone who's following us, please, if you would like to join as a speaker, it's for everyone, because I believe that every teacher is an artist. Every teacher has his own power. So it's just a webinar every Sunday. We have it, and we aim to help the teachers to understand that teaching is not just only about methodology. So, for example, in January we have one psychologist who is going to talk to us about mental health, actually, about for teachers. She's a psychologist. So it's not just only about methodology, but it's also about a lot of areas related to teaching.
Hmm. I see. So every Sunday you have this with the
Yeah,
teachers over there.
sometimes
Okay.
we have also in February we'll have like some a man who works in Vietnam who help teachers to travel there, to travel and work,
Ah,
what's required, the papers, everything. It's not just only about methodology.
that's interesting. I see. Thank you. Thank you very much. And by the
You're
way,
welcome.
you have a YouTube channel. Do you have a YouTube channel if I'm
Uh,
not wrong?
Unfortunately now, because of the sanctions, because of a lot of stuff, we have like
Oh, I
to be
see.
here on
Okay.
Instagram. I have to
So
VPN.
let me ask you in another way. You know that we are living in the very incredibly huge technological era. We
Yeah.
cannot sometimes we cannot follow it. We cannot catch it up. The things that happening, all right, around of us or around the world, in education world or in other roles in the job sectors. What can I say? So, but when you think about all these things, how do you follow these technological improvements? About education world. What do you do? What can you suggest to us?
So I'm following a lot of educational websites like British Council,
Uh-huh.
BBC, all of this, to just learn the new trends. And by the way, they have also a lot of free webinars, a lot of free courses which teachers can join and get a
Uh-huh.
certificate for that. So that's how I'm like always updated to new teaching techniques.
Oh, I see. You use that one. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. For technological stuff. I got it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And you know what? We have a lot of things to do, and we do a lot of things for our job and for our, the students. So when you think about this, what are you doing for your job right now? Are you doing anything special? And do you have any extra project that we don't know and you would like to share with us here for the
So
future?
so just for to be the same picture here, I'm currently not working in a school as a public school. So it's like a
Mm-hmm.
language center with a little amount of students. But to
Oh,
be
I
honest,
see.
I really miss teaching in schools. I really miss that so much. It's difficult, but it's really something really interesting.
So you're not
So
doing anything about the school, you mean? I
no,
got
yeah.
it.
So as now, what I'm working on a lot is teaching reading for kids, and I have my own reading course, like
Ah, I see.
10 lesson plans. Yeah, for kids, for zeros. Like it's how to explain reading in a fun way, what games to do, what is the sequence of teaching, the sounds, the letters, and so on. And it works so good.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I got it. All right. So, when you think about yourself, actually most of the successful people, they all have a role models in their life
Hmm.
or somebody ha inspired them to become successful or to do something in their life. When you think about this, do you have a role model? If yes, who is your model or who inspires you to do these things?
So my role model in like teaching so much is Maria Montessori.
Ah,
Uh, yeah, so I like her so much. I like her way of teaching and so on. So
I see.
her
So,
method.
uh-huh. That you do you use her techniques in your lessons? Do you use it?
Uh, some of her techniques, of course, can be implemented in teaching English,
Mm-hmm.
but others is just like a way of raising kids.
Yeah.
But as a figure, how she thinks about the kid's psychology, the kid's mental health, that
Uh-huh.
the kid is a kid. A kid
Kid
is
is
not
a
a student.
kid. You're right.
Yeah.
I see. You don't. You just use them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay. Okay, Amir. So, the time time flies, by the way, and
Yeah.
we cannot see the future, and we don't know what's gonna happen. When you think about your future, maybe after 10 years, how do you see yourself? Will you still be a teacher or will you try another job? What do you think? What are you going to do?
No, definitely not another sphere, but my dream is to open my own school, a
Ah,
private school, where not just related to English, but a place where kids can feel safe, where they can learn real life subjects like economy, psychology, besides
uh-huh.
the school subject. No, that's my dream in 10 years, hopefully.
Hopefully. I hope so you can make it. I hope so. Where do you plan to do it?
In Russia,
Ah, in Russia. Okay.
yeah,
That's a good place, I think, to do it. All right, great. Thank you. Thank you very
yeah,
much. You know,
yeah.
we talk about a lot of things, and that's a lot of things happen in our life. Sometimes we face a lot of challenging situations, difficult one, and which we cannot, handle it, or we cannot, to find a solution to do it. And at that time, sometimes we say it on our own, and oh, I wish I could have a kind of a superpower so I could easily fix this. Okay, but when you think about this in your classroom, if you could have one superpower to use it, what would it be, and how would it help you in your lessons?
I like this question so much. So, if I have one superpower as a teacher, it would be reversing time. Like,
Uh,
it's just like to return back, explain it again, and then come back. So it's like to avoid repeatance
oh,
like
I
every
see.
time.
You do that. I got it. Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
that's the
So
power.
that's the reversing time. That's
Reversing
really, the
time.
important thing. I see. Great. Thank you. Okay, so Amir, think that, we finish our, the conversation and you go outside and find a lottery ticket that ends up winning $100 million, which is a huge amount of money. What would you do? Be honest. We know that you're gonna, open your school.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course. So if I have $100 million, what would I do? First, like that's a huge amount of money. I think it's more than enough to open. So
Yeah,
first, I will open a school
I'm
here.
sure that it's enough.
Yeah, and also donate some of this money for schools in Africa, because it's really some countries' schools situations are really bad, and it's like every child deserves education. Uh, every child deserves a decent education, to be precise. So sometimes I saw a lot of videos, a lot of things, and actually that's when I want to be like 50, 60 years old. I want to volunteer as a teacher there because there's no
Yeah.
money there, of course. Yeah, there's no
Uh-huh.
money, so it's just volunteer. So that's my
I
dream
see.
as well.
I see. I got it. Thank you. Thank you very much, Amir. Okay. So I have asked all my questions and only one question left to ask you. The last question.
Uh-huh.
Ready for it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So what is your motto?
Mistakes are okay.
Mistakes are okay.
Yeah,
Okay. That's a nice motto. We accept it. All
mistakes are
right.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you. Thank you very much, Amir. I ask all my questions to you. But
Uh-huh.
before, the ending our live sessions, Amir, would you like to say anything else to the audiences or mention
No,
something here?
actually, I would like to ask you a question about Turkey, about like ESL in Turkey, if it's okay. How
Uh,
is it English as a second language now in Turkey? How is it going there?
it's it's
I mean, by
it's you know it's much better than you remember.
I mean, like, do you have conferences for
A
teachers
lot,
and all this?
lot
Yes.
of a lot of
Ah,
things we
really?
have here. A lot of
Oh,
things we have here. You can't
wow.
imagine. Yeah, we have a lot of big conferences, webinars, seminars, and a lot of things that we have. You should come and see on your
Yeah,
own.
yeah. That's
With
the
your
I
eyes.
would really would
You
like.
should come. You
Yeah,
should come
I
and see it.
would really
But it's
would
it's
like.
much better than the previous
It
years,
was, yeah.
and a lot of things improved. So
Oh,
so
that's good.
it's really it's better now. But
That's
of
awesome.
course, there are some also, the difficulties or challenges that we all face, just like every other countries. But here also we face about educations, about the language education is not like the before. Okay, it's much better. It's much better.
Wow, that would be amazing if you like after the live session can share a place where I can find these conferences because I love Turkey and I would like to visit Turkey
Yeah,
again.
do not worry. I will send you a lot of information after the session. Okay.
Super, excellent. So for everyone who's watching, the fact that you're here shows that you're an amazing teacher, that you want to learn more. And whoever have any question, you could text me on Instagram. Please don't feel shy to do that. I'd be more than happy to help with recommendation, with books, with students' books, with anything. And I have a huge respect to school teachers. So you guys are superheroes. Really, just amazing that you work in a classroom.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep yourself, stay positive and always remember that, yes, I know that teaching is not the most paid job, but uh, the emotions, like I remember one of my teachers in my school till now, like I'm now 32 years old, and she's dead now, but I still remember her every single day, how kind she was, she was amazing. So for everyone who's watching, you're really great. Thank you so much for giving us your time, and wish you all the best with your career and your students.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Amir. And I would like to say thank you very much again for your time, for your suggestions, for your ideas and advice that you shared with us and you give all of us. Thank you. Thank you. That was really precious
Thank you
for
so
all of
much.
us.
Thank you so much.
And okay, so Amir Khamis was with us tonight with Teacher Talks 191st, and we had a fruitful session with him, and we talked a lot of things with him here. And as you know that we know that we are going to be here next week on the same day at the same time, every Monday at 9 p.m. Turkish time. And until the next time, wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And until next time again, take care of
Have a good
yourself.
night.
Take care of yourself, Amir, and have a good night, everybody.
Thank
And
you.
bye bye and
Bye bye.
peace.
Bye bye. Bye bye.